Gun-free zones. Just how safe are we in these zones? I'll be back with an answer to this. Just how safe are we, or anyone for that matter, in a gun-free zone? Now, gun-free zones have their purpose, and I can understand the thought behind some of the reasoning, but for the most part, gun-free zones makes people become one of two things. They either turns them into a victim or a criminal. This is what happened to Amanda Collins back several years ago at the University of Nevada at Reno. In 2007, Amanda Collins was a student at the University of Nevada at Reno, where she was returning home, or to her dorm that is, from a late night class. And instead of walking across campus, she decided to drive, and before class she parked her car in a parking garage. This parking garage was only 50 feet away from the campus police department. On that night, leaving the class, she was brutally attacked and raped, just 50 feet from the police department, campus police department, and in a gun-free zone. Now, Amanda was a concealed carry permit holder, but did not have her gun on her that night due to campus policies prohibiting the carrying of firearms on campus. However, her attacker didn't go by the same laws as she did. Her attacker was armed with a gun. He approached her from behind and grabbed her, pointing a gun to her head. And this was where the horror began. She stated that during the attack she could see the police department and could see the cruisers. However, she knew no one would come to help her because the department's safety office was closed at the time. The attacker, having no thought about the law and knew that the gun-free zone would be safe for him to perpetrate his crime, attacked Ms. Collins. Ms. Collins reported what had happened to her and decided to be public about her experiences, and this is why I've used her name freely, because she has come forward. She went to the Colorado State Legislature to plead her case to the legislature to see if they can reconsider the gun-free zone rulings on college campuses and to allow students who are legally and justifiably in the right to carry a firearm to carry their firearm and protect themselves. After testifying to the legislature, Ms. Collins was given some false information by Democratic Senator Eva Hudak. Ms. Hudak stated that the statistics were against Ms. Collins in this case, and that she really had no reason to carry a gun. In other words, this Democratic senator, female to boot, is telling somebody that they don't have a right to protect themselves. Senator Eva Hudak went on to continue that regardless if she'd had a gun or not, her attacker probably would have taken the gun and used it against her. With this, Ms. Collins replied, and I quote, "Respectfully, Senator, you weren't there. I was there. I know there, without a doubt in my mind, at some point I would have been able to stop my attacker by using my firearm. He already had a weapon of his own. He didn't need mine." This comment landed upon a deaf ear as far as Eva Hudak was concerned. Taking this further, Senator Hudak had no statistical documentation to back up her claims. And also, she had the nerve to say this in front of another woman. I just find this completely appalling and totally bizarre. I can't understand the thought process of this Democratic senator, or anyone, regardless of their party, Democrat, Republican, Independent, doesn't matter. But if anybody who would tell another person, no, you don't have a right to carry a gun, no, you do not have a right to defend yourself, this is a gun-free zone, you just have to take your chances. Well, by God, I bet you, sure as hell, if it had been Senator Hudak that had been attacked, things had been a little bit different. She'd have been carrying the gun. She'd have been pledging and fighting for people to carry guns in gun-free zones. This woman had bigger balls than the Jolly Green fucking Giant. Another sad note about this attack is, if Miss Collins had been able to defend herself with a firearm, her own firearm that she was legally allowed to carry, except in this gun-free zone, she might have been able to prevent the attack of 2 other women and the murder of a third. That's right. This attacker went on to commit 2 more rapes and murder one of his victims. If Miss Collins had been allowed to use her firearm, she might have prevented these tragedies from happening to these other women. But no, we have senators, we have legislatures, we have people in government who think that no one has a right to protect themselves. The gun-free zones make everybody safe. Well, hell, if everybody was safe in there, everybody would be obeying the law and her attacker wouldn't have had a gun. But no, gun-free zones are only make targets out of people in those zones. They know these gun-free zones, these criminals in the gun-free zones know that their victims, if they're law-abiding citizens, are not carrying a weapon to protect themselves. In summary, the left is trying to make everyone into a victim. They are allowing criminals to have reign over defenseless people who, in a lot of cases, can defend themselves if they are allowed to carry. And as I said previously, there are certain areas where I respect the no carry, which is federal buildings, judicial centers. These areas have armed security already, but schools do not all the time. And in this case, the campus police department was closed. There was no security. They said, let's put in call boxes and use rape whistles. Well, what the hell's that going to do when you can't get to a call box? And who the hell's going to listen to a rape whistle at no telling what time in the morning? You can't hear it. So going back to these legislatures, these government officials, they want to make victims out of everybody. They want to control us. They want to control our safety and don't want us to have the ability to defend ourselves. Bullshit. Gun-free zones gives the law-abiding, gun-carrying citizens 2 options. 1, to either become a criminal by carrying their firearm on them, or 2, to become a victim. What the hell, what kind of choice is that? Let me ask you, would you rather be a victim, or would you rather be a criminal? Tough choice to make. That's something to think about. As far as Miss Collins goes, please Google her. She is still fighting, I believe, for the right to carry your firearm in gun-free zones, mainly on college campuses. And there are many campuses now that are kind of thinking towards this. There are campuses now that I know of that will allow you to carry, if you have the legal right and are authorized to carry a gun, and if you're not a convicted felon, you have all the legal rights going in your direction to carry a gun, you have a right to bring it with you, but leave it locked in your vehicle. Well, that's a start. Let's see if we can swing it a little bit further. Let's see if the law-abiding, gun-carrying citizens of this United States can legally protect themselves without the fear of government intervention. That's about all I've got to say for now. Think about Ms. Collins. Think about what I've said. Think about the representatives that's supposed to be working for us. They're working against us. Most of them. Not all of them. But think about the ones that are working against us. Think about the ones who want to turn women into victims. They want to turn young people into victims, elderly people into victims. They don't care. They don't care. So what would you rather be? Something to think about.